So, guys, I have messed around with my room setup again. So, I've not had the space to buy more games for a few months now. And to be fair, there's not that many more games that I need to buy, but it has been bothering me just the way that things look. I spent about 3 hours moving stuff around the other day. Let me show you what I've done, doing. All of the above, really. I'm kind of not done. We'll notice that these used to contain all of my movies, my Blu-rays, my DVDs, whatever, and now it's all of the games. So what I've done, and my room is very much so a mess at the minute. I will not hear any judgment. It's been a thing. I've put the DVDs and the Blu-rays over there, and on that. Now you'll notice those two were completely full before, and that's two full billies. That's one full billy and a half, which means something has got to have given somewhere, hasn't it? There's less DVDs than there were. So what I did was, those that are down there, annoyingly so, yeah, I know, that I wish they weren't, but they are. Those are ones that I do still want to replace, as in DVDs that are worth replacing on Blu-ray. Okay, so pretty much what I did was, I've pulled out, see this pile here? Those are regular DVDs that I have determined to not be worth replacing on Blu-ray. So the whole point was that at some point I want my collection to be completely Blu-ray rather than a mixture of both. But the problem with that is that, one, not every film has a Blu-ray release. Like, it just doesn't. And some things that I want to keep don't, which is kind of annoying. So it's kind of nice to be able to separate them out over there anyway. And now we've got the Blu-rays in here, and then transitions into the rest of the regular DVDs. This is all stuff that has already been replaced. So I've got just massive piles on the floor of stuff that needs to go to CEX. But I'm in the process of making it work. But the reason that all of this now exists over here is, look how much more space we have for games. There's each one of the shelves on the Billy will fit about 50 games, which means that I've now got about 150, and then a little bit more than, being as there's still a bit of excess space on PS4, PS5, and the bottom right. What's funny is that had I never gotten rid of my 360 games a few months ago, the shelves would still actually be quite full. So, little bit of regret there, but not really, because I didn't really want the duplicates. But it does mean that I've now got room for other stuff. So I've yet to decide on whether this is the orientation that's going to stay, as in the way that I've got PS2, 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 PS3, 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 but then it goes PS4 left to right, PS4, because basically I need the gaps that are gapping to be existing on the bottom. I don't want gaps higher up, because what will happen is that for TikTok content and stuff like that, this is the backdrop, right, is the games. So I need there to be just thick blocks of games, and you can't see that there is those gaps, yeah? Now, the other problem that I've got is that when I have more or less than 50, I'm definitely going to have to encroach on shelf space. Like, for example, you know how right now, at no point in this, besides the very, very bottom, is there more than one platform on one shelf? I'm probably going to have to not do that. Because, for example, I still have some PS2 stuff over here that needs to make its way onto the shelf, but of course that is then not going to fit on just one shelf aesthetically. So I'm probably going to have to move everything down and across a bit and have a bit of overlap between consoles, which is quite annoying. And something else that is kind of interesting is, I didn't actually manage to get a YouTube video of this because apparently it's already gone, is my local CEX Stafford had a Kuon in, which is really, really random. And I truly do believe that the reason that somebody chose to trade Kuon into Stafford CX is because they saw one of my videos and knows that it's my local. Like, I can only assume somebody's done that on purpose, because it's just it's too much of a coincidence. But yeah, the good news is I now have space to buy more games. The bad news is I don't know how many more games I'm going to buy, because I don't think... Like, there's definitely not 150 more games that I want, for sure. There just isn't. There can't be. The good thing is I've future-proofed myself for quite a while when it comes to, like, the current generation of consoles, and maybe even future generation. Like, I'm looking at the PS5 shelf right now, and I've got just shy of 50 games. Like, the shelf is nearly full. But to be honest, I don't even really like buying PS5 games physically, because while it's a preference and I do prefer them, they're difficult to get on release date a lot of the time. For example, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I was sent a digital copy of that by Ubisoft, so I've got no physical version of that, which is great because it means that I was playing it early, but it's one of them. and other games come out and I want physical versions of them, but I also need to be playing them pretty much at midnight ideally to get content out and get content talking about. So it's not ideal to have to wait a day or two. Because especially these days, I don't know if you guys have ever been into game. Like, for example, like, say a game releases at midnight last night. You can go into game today and they won't have it. They might have a picture of it on the shelf and an empty case, but they won't have the game itself. It's really hard to get games on release these days. You have to use Amazon, is your best bet. But the problem is with Amazon where we are, is they don't deliver till 9, 10 p.m. So it's the equivalent of getting it a day late even then. So yeah, that's a thing. All right then, let's head off into town. CEX first, and then a haircut. And then later on we're going back out again in Neve's car to do the weekly shopping and get food. Because it's Friday, and I try and film every Friday. You know, luckily, we've gotten to like 20 degrees now, so it's definitely t-shirt weather. My car has just about been sat in the shade, I think, because the chairs are all comfy and not too warm. And I really need to get my car cleaned. I mean, you can kind of see the bird that has taken some sort of abuse to my car with its rectum. But yeah, off we go. Well, bit of a sad one because the Kuon that was supposed to be at this CEX wasn't. It's been sold already, and I was talking to the staff, and they said that the fella that bought it was interesting. Apparently it was a lot of vouchers, and they checked like the history of the vouchers, and the dude had travelled around trading in the same thing over and over again to avoid traders' rates and trying to make money that way to get to the Kuon, which is curious. I do intend to get another Kuon at some point because I do think it'd be cool to have another one. At some point, I'm definitely going to have to start collecting duplicates. You know, there's part of me that wants to do some sort of CEX Robin Hood style thing where I go to CEX, buy games, make videos about the buying games, and then go and sell those games on eBay for less than CEX buy them in for. Does that make sense? Less than CEX sell them for. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't know. Because here's the thing that no other creator on the internet is telling you, because I've always been very transparent about every single thing I've ever done on the internet, is that every collector that you watch has to move the goalposts constantly because they have to find more videos to make, right? They have to find more stuff to collect because if they don't, what are they going to film? There are a lot of collectors that have got everything that they wanted, really, but had to keep moving the goalposts and creating new things that they needed to collect. I see some people do challenges, and I think that's quite clever. That's a really good idea, where they'll go and say a CEX with like, say, 20 quid and see what they can get, even if it is stuff they've already got. There's that one dude who, in America, goes to all these different Pokemon conventions and rebuys the same Pokemon games over and over and over again. He's got it sound and sorted. He's got a system going there where just infinitely repeatable content. But for me, who just collects for myself and personally, it's like, once I've got a game, I then can't record myself buying that same game again. Or can I? You know, a lot of people would. A lot of people do. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, moving on. I just went into cash converters thinking there might be something cool. There wasn't. It was so much worse than it normally is. I didn't even film it. Hello, Roobster. I have returned. The crackheads can't get us here because they were out in force. God forbid it be 20 degrees because all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, the chitty bang bang child catcher comes out and the amount of crackheads in town, there were so many of them, Ruby, you'd have hated it. I mean, you hate everyone anyway, but you'd have really hated them. There were so many of them. You'll definitely be all right in just a t-shirt. It's like 22. It is sweaty out there. Big stretch. Would you like belly rubs? Or are you just going to sunbathe? What's the plan, Roobster? Anyway, I got 2 things from CEX today. I did manage to get something I was concerned that I would get like nothing at all, because despite the fact that I've made loads of space, there's not really much I need, or at least not. I'm talking to both. So I got Killzone 1 for the PlayStation 2. Now the reason I bought this is so that I can do direct comparisons between the PlayStation 3 version of this price and the PlayStation 2 version, because the PlayStation 3 version of this game is £120 from CEX. And I also have that. I got it from eBay last year for like 80 quid, which is pretty good. And then another Blu-ray with Whiplash, one of the best ones ever. Our town is gridlocked because the motorway is down. That's fantastic. Guy's just gone. That dude's in a full black tracksuit. Is he not?
He's gotta be warm.
Is he not?
It's 21 degrees.
Is he not sweating? We are. Well, it's a good thing you booked food for in an hour, because we're not getting there before in an hour. And we were at your mother's longer than you thought we were going to be. Oh dear. Well, I wonder if KFC will be able to count to 10 this time. Or 6. Surely they can count.
Surely they can count to 6.
If they can't count to 6, heads are going to roll, I'm telling you that. Weekly shop done. Now I have to go over to Pepe's and get the food. Chicken, and lots of chicken. I wonder how many days a week I eat chicken. It might be like 8.
Every single day.
I might genuinely eat chicken about 8 days a week. What a lovely noise.
Do you think there's people that don't know what 8 days a week mean?
There's people that can't count to 8.
Like the people that
They just all work at KFC, yeah. Pepe's is rammed. Alright then, today's dinner. Chicken XL meal, chips, and some extra wings from KFC because we went by it, might as well. So I'm currently playing through the Devil May Cry? No, that was a few months ago. The Destroy All Human remake games. Destroy All Humans is a franchise that I played a lot as a kid. Like, I have distinct memories. I borrowed Destroy All Humans 2 from a friend. Played pretty much all of it, never beat it. But then was really, really sad when it came time to try to buy it myself. And the local game shop, I think it was called Discs and Discs, did not have it. That was really annoying. But I have ended up getting it eventually. And I just remember it being just brilliant. And this remake is also really, really good. Oh, there's a duck. What's this a reference to? I feel like that's got to be a reference, right? There's got to be something at the top of this tower. I'm not giving up. We're going to the top. We're finding out. Oh, come on. You telling me I can't make it that high? Nah, hang on. But these are about as accurate as remakes should be, I think. They didn't change things. Like, for example, there is stuff in this level of the game, the Japan map, where Yuri Lowenthal is putting on the most stereotypically racist Japanese accent that you could possibly ever have. Something that he'd never be allowed to do in, say, Spider-Man today. And it's fine, because it was a product of its time. I don't know if fall damage is a thing in this game. Let's find out. We're going to find out. Nope, no fall damage. I could have sworn fall damage was a thing when I was a kid. There was also some quality of life stuff, like this skateboard. This wasn't in the original game, because now we can get around way faster. And generally I found it way easier than the first game as well. The first remake was way harder than the second remake. I'm not quite sure why that is. Because they feel similar to play, but just like bosses go down way, way quicker and just all that sort of thing. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's game... This might be game number 90 for the gamelog so far this year. I'm kind of losing track. I think we finished Destroy All Humans 2, reprobed. Pretty sure. Give me the credits. Give me them credits. Can't believe how difficult the final boss was. There you go. So that's Destroy All Humans 2. Let's get it on the log. Okay, that's Destroy All Humans 2 reprobed on the 11th. Yesterday I finished Destroy All Humans 1 remake. And to be fair, that is quite a few games in a row now that are brand new to me. 7 games in a row, with a lot of them being pretty long or pretty difficult between Assassin's Creed Shadows or First Berserker Kazan. But that brings us up to, hang on, 87 games this year. So, still I'd say on track at doing 150. I don't know what's next, but it is 2 o'clock in the morning. I still can't believe that Kuon is gone from Stafford CEX already. I was going to milk that for ages. I was gonna buy it again. I was gonna buy a second Kuon, 2 on, because TikTok would get livid over that. TikTok's livid no matter what, along with a few on YouTube, because, yeah. But it would have been funny. Would have been cool. Yeah. I don't know what's next. Neve's out most of tomorrow with friends, so I'll probably play through something. I recently got the Hitman World of Absolution. I've just combined Hitman games there. I got Hitman World of Assassination, which is 3 games in 1 that I might do, but I'm not typically a stealth guy. But I saw a lot of people playing it like they're cosplaying as John Wick. And we saw John Wick in the cinema the other day. So that could be a lot of fun to play it like that. That's how I play Hitman Absolution. I don't play Hitman the way that you're supposed to do it stealthily, because that's boring. I want to shoot a lot of people in the face. It's fun. So, and I've seen that you can do that, so I might do it like that. That'll be 3 more brand new games in a row to get me up to 10 in a row. And in fact, if we've just finished 87, that would make Hitman 3, when we get to it, number 90. Not bad. I know that to hit 150 by the end of the year, I need to stay on track with doing about 7 games per month. And this month so far, I've done the first Berserker Kazan on the 4th, Robocop Rogue City on the 7th, and then Destroy All Humans 1 and 2 on the 10th and the 11th. Actually, that's a thought. When did I actually last do the original Destroy All Humans? I did a few years ago. Here you go, check this out. Destroy All Humans 1 and Destroy All Humans 2 on the 7th and the 8th of November 2020. Pretty sure that that was the year that the first Destroy All Humans remake came out. But very nostalgic. I do hope that Path of the Furon gets a remake too, because I've never played that. But I'm pretty sure that going back from these two to that would be a large downgrade in the way everything feels. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I got to figure out what I'm playing next. And I suppose I'll see you tomorrow.